like and subscribe. What's a sign that a movie is going to be bad? If there are multiple trailers for a comedy movie, but they use the same joke in all of them. Critics did not receive an advance screening in order to write a review. It means the studio is hoping to at least recover an opening weekend of ticket sales before word gets out. When the commercials all have 1 or 2 word reviews, and the reviews are from people you've never heard of. Feast for the senses. William Albertson of the Topeka Star-Tribune Weekend Film Magazine, online edition. Starts with too much exposition. Mary, just because you have a medical degree from Harvard, I'm still your older brother. When you've basically seen the entire plot of the movie and all main scenes in the trailer. Get ready to see, back in action in the big screen. This line is used in many bad movie trailers of old properties which are made into movies. If the character points out something that is blatantly obvious. In a world where one man has to save the world. Man, I have to save the world. Directing credit goes to Alan Smithy. Hey. If it's from the studio that brought you, insert decent movie here. Or from the producer or producers of. That tells you neither the actors nor the director is a selling point. The near constant advertising. Usually the exact same spot played before *EVERY* video on YouTube. My mom chooses it as a family movie. She only does this when she feels neglected and picks movies where the mom has recently died or is dying and the children only realize how important she was when it is too late. Every single time. It's been in production for too long. There's always a reason. For a recent example, Chaos Walking. It changed screenwriter, director and production company so many times over 10 years, but was sold on it being a Charlie Kaufman movie starring Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland. Kaufman left in 2013. Ridley and Holland filmed it over years due to so many reshoots and failed screenings. Then Lionsgate said the negative reviews were shocking to them. Really? If it's being released in January. That isn't the case every time, just most of the time. If my mom called to recommend it to me. When they try adding a viral trend in the movie, it's just cringe. Even worse is, when they try forcing memes into it. It's either cringe, or so outdated that it just looks stupid. When the main actor's name is bigger than the title on the poster. When the trailer shows you way too much. Has too many of what unknown critics say on the movie poster or trailer. The preview shows a girl who is just too focused on career to find love going back to her small hometown for whatever reason. An exposition in which one character explains everything that's going on to another character that should already know what is going on. When one villain wasn't enough to make a movie, so they shoehorn in multiple half villains instead. Unless we get 6 prior movies focusing on each villain, we are never getting a good Sinister Six movie, and that's very saddening. They said the word family 20 times in 15 minutes and it's not a movie about a mob family. It's okay, you can say Fast and Furious. Putting a director who has no idea what the source material is about. Looking at you, Dragon Ball Evolution. Artemis Fowl was more of a dumpster fire than the Percy Jackson films. It's directed by Uwe showing what is obviously the best part / climax in the trailer. If it isn't strong enough to catch my interest with the lead up, it's gonna suck. The simple act of me wanting to watch it pretty much makes it a bad movie. I am like a moth to flame with bad flicks. James Corden. Shaky cam and quick cut editing. Jumping over a fence. 20 quick cuts. Take it or leave it. It's an edgy reboot of a children's property that stopped being relevant a decade ago. When they hype the movie's soundtrack more than the film it herself. X. Suicide Squad. When I can tell how it's going to end by just watching the trailer. Starts with a ridiculous amount of exposition. Or the opposite. Somehow Palpatine returned. When the movie was supposed to be a drama and they changed it during filming to a comedy. Whenever they start promoting their movie by constantly comparing it to one of the all-time greats in the genre. If you are a fantasy movie and you have to state in the advertising that you are great just like Lord of the Rings, it makes me think your movie is probably because you are not LOTR. Backslash, a comedian who hasn't been funny in 10 years stars in it and plays multiple roles. Looking at you Sandler, Murphy, and Myers. Backslash, it's clearly being released in a desperate attempt to capitalize on a different studio's success. WB keeps trying to rival the MCU with DC films, but their meddling repeatedly ruins them. Also the Divergent series trying too hard to be Hunger Games. Backslash, it's a sequel slash prequel slash spin-off that stars none of the major pullers from the first one. G.I. Joe. Backslash, blatantly bad recasting to the point where you wonder if it would have been better to just drop the character. Mummy 3. Backslash, miracle resurrection plot devices because they couldn't think of any way to make a new character instead. WW84, F&F. Backslash, it has anything to do with Steven Seagal. If it opens with a narration starting with, I know what you're thinking. It just screams desperate yawn from a crowded writer's room. Record scratch. You're probably wondering how I got here. Baba already begins to play. Well, it all started a couple days ago. Out here in the fields. When my life got a little weirder. The Emperor's New Groove is flawless, and you won't convince me otherwise. Kuzco is the greatest Disney princess. When it is 10 minutes in, and you have said what the under your breath 5 or more times. When the opening credits tell you a really interesting story. When the opening scene involves a shootout with so many cuts you literally cannot see what is happening, or who is shooting at whom. When the narrator sounds bored. The female lead gets naked in the first 10 to 15 minutes. You know they were already running on fumes for plot, so out come the Tartars. To be fair, with Game of Thrones it took nearly a full decade for its decline to come to fruition. If the whole synopsis is a terrible idea, like making a movie about amateurs. More than 3 production house graphics before the opening credits. You've been visited by the ghost of a very important man. Pay your respects by liking and subscribing, and he'll grant you 3 weeks of good luck.